Okay, 5 minutes past the time. People are still joining. Let them join. Let me share my screen. Meanwhile, yesterday I observed a pattern. People join in 10 minutes. It's surprisingly odd, but it's okay because we do have videos to track down the progress, so we should be fine. So that being said, creating. Okay, screen is not shared yet. Hold on. Let me share my screen. Okay, recording is in progress. Let's start. So what are the things we saw yesterday? Advanced functions we saw. So yesterday's class was a little complicated. So I will recommend you to go for a proper video revision at least once or twice and try these all classes yourself. This is very important. So this we are going to share with you by weekend. Okay. So if you don't want that delay, probably I will send one slot today and one slot on Friday so that you will get these particular classes at least to go through. Plus, you will get the materials for sure. Okay, so I will share all those things to in your share drive. Okay, so that you can access to it. Good with this. So that being said, what we did yesterday is at the end we wrote a class and we tried to access some variables inside the class. So today we're going to take a deep dive into what exactly the class is. Yesterday I gave you a brief intro, like what exactly class really mean. So class is nothing but class has a boundary. Everything in the world basically can be defined as a class. Class is a blueprint, okay, where which is actually what I can say a template, a framework, okay, from which an object is going to derive. So we created a class which is called a customer class, and we had a few properties here like first name, last name, and all. So class consists of two important things: variables and properties, we call them, and functions and behaviors, or we also call it as methods. So combination of that is basically a class. So we saw one thing out of it, which is variables. So we created variables in the class, and then we created an instance of a class. Instance can be created with the help of instance name equals to class name parenthesis. Okay. So this is out of instance underscore name. Instance and object are same thing. Okay. And you say class name and parenthesis. This is how now the instance is created. Cool with that, a new instance, new object. Cool with this. So what will happen is the new, so customer one, there will be a different memory location here, which will handling customer one, and for customer two, there will be completely different memory location, which will have the data for customer two. So that's why two objects are completely different for a single class. Cool with this. Now we're going to take a deep dive into other aspects of a class. So we will start with the retail customer class again, and I'll rewrite that particular class, but in a different way. Okay, so we are writing a class customer, and instead of writing any method here, sorry, instead of writing any property here, I'll be writing a method. Okay, I'll be writing a method. So this method is called as class methods. Class methods are different than a normal method with respect to one aspect. So let's see that. So define, and let's say this customer is what actions of customers are. So let's see, this customer is actually asking for a discount. So discount method. Okay, and as soon as I put the parenthesis, it has an extra parameter called as self. This is automatic. So as soon as I put a parenthesis, it actually comes like this. Okay, and parenthesis is called as self. So what is this self? The self is an object reference. So we'll talk about self in a while, but here, as of now, I'll keep it as it is. I'll say print. I'll say this. Okay, this customer has no discount. That's it. So whenever there is a method, okay, defined in a class with self parameter, they are called as instance methods. Okay, so these are also called as instance methods. Okay, the another method where you are avoiding self or you don't want self at all. So what are the such methods? So these methods will be the methods which are utility. Like suppose uh, you are calculating date comparisons, or you are validating a string. So if you are validating string, there is no relevance of any object. So these methods are called as static methods or class methods. We will see that later. So as of now, this is the method we defined, and we are going to access this particular method with instance of the class. So how do we do that? So we say cust1 or customer one, create an instance of a customer, and then you will access the method very similar to how you access the data. So here you access customer one dot discount, and it will actually print this particular message. Okay, so here you go. You run retail customer, you will get customer has no discount. Okay, so the methods and objects both can be accessed with the help of dot operator on an object. Cool with this? So now there is an interesting thing we are learning here. So what is this customer parenthesis? It looks like a method, but it doesn't actually, it's not a method at all because we have not declared this anywhere. So this customer parenthesis is called as initializer. Okay, also called as, so few people who are comfortable are coming from other programming languages like Java, Groovy, Perl, then other languages, even for Angular, React. So those frameworks, okay, then ActionScript, all those things they use a word called as constructor. So initializer and constructor is basically same thing. What is the purpose of this particular method? So this method initializes the class. Suppose whenever a customer is getting created, you want to assign the customer ID to it. How do you do that? You do that with the help of customer initializer or constructor. But where is that method? So when you do not define an initializer or constructor, this particular method is provided by your interpreter by default. But if you write it, how do you write it? How do you want? So if I want to declare my own initializer, how do I do that? So you do that with the help of a special method define underscore underscore init. So init method is initializer or constructor method. So whenever we are calling this customer parenthesis, we are basically calling init method. With that, so now my requirement was as soon as the customer is getting created, I want a customer ID assigned to it. It might be hard coded, but I want customer ID. So how do I define a customer ID? So now you use this self parameter. Self is a reference of an object. What does that really mean? So up to this point, whenever we are writing a function, we are not giving any kind of additional parameters which are referencing to anything, because these are what? These are normal functions and it's taking parameter. So which parameter is this, which is called self? So, and remember this, when I called discount, I did not pass self. I directly called it. So where this parameter is coming from and how this is satisfied. So this parameter is satisfied with the help of this particular instance. So when you call discount, the self will be taken from this guy. So customer one is being passed here as a self. Okay. So whichever object is calling that particular method, self will be instance of that object. Sorry, self is basically that object. Okay. So that's what happening here. So init method taking self, that means customer one is basically getting passed here. So if I want to add a variable or a property to customer one or customer object, I can add through self. So I can say self dot, and here you can define new property also, cust underscore id, and you can define something here, let's say 1001, that is customer id assigned here. So now you can also specify like, okay, this particular customer has no discount. Okay, so you can access this particular method. Okay, you can access this particular variable, sorry, so variable. So this variable is called as instance variable, because this variable is attached to the instance. So with this, it's attached to the instance, it attached to the self. So let's run these methods now. Okay, one more thing I will do. I want to prove the point that this init method is getting called. So I can have a print here, a small print, that this is initializer or constructor. For Cool with this? So let's run this method now and see what happens. So initializer or constructor for customer, and customer has no discount and customer ID is 1001 is getting printed there. Okay, so we saw two things. One is initializer or constructor, another is methods, which is class methods. So this discount is a class method and discount can access self. So this is why this self is coming here, because you are accessing the parameters, the variables attached to this particular customer class. Clear with this? Now I don't really want to hard code this. Whenever a customer is being created, I want to pass customer ID as a parameter. Can I do that? So I want to pass 1001 here, and then if customer 2 is getting created, I want to call customer 2 as 2002. Can I do that? So 2002, and here it's COST2. So how can I do that? So it's not taking any parameter as of now, only parameter is self. So initializers or constructor also takes parameter just like a normal method. So you can always say cust ID as a parameter. And then instead of initializing this with 1001, you can initialize self.cust ID equals to cust ID. Cool with this? So now whatever you pass, it will automatically get assigned. Cool. So let's run this method. See this now. Customer has no discount for 1001 and no discount for 2002 either. Okay, this is customer 1 and customer 2 inferences. Remember that? So now it also proves the point that self is an instance which is being passed here, because for customer 2, it has printed 2002. Got it? So I'll take a pause. We learned 3 concepts. Okay, just let me know if you have any questions. All good? Okay, so let's move ahead. Okay, so can I have another method or can I avoid this? Okay, can I use that? So no, you will get an error. You'll get an error that this is a missing positional argument cust ID. So how do I avoid this particular error? By giving a default. So yes, our class methods also allow default methods. So default customer ID is 999. So you can use this. So if you are not passing it, it's going to use 999. Okay, so defaults are also completely allowed, no issues with that. Good with this? Okay, what if the method doesn't actually need a self parameter? So suppose I literally need like define, and this is a validate a name method or validate string method, whatever it is, like validate name method. Okay, so it's whatever it's taken. Okay, it's basically validating it, and it's not taking self parameter. How do I define such kind of thing? Okay, can I define this kind of method? So yes, you can do that, but you need to add a decorator. So decorator, and users say it's a class method. So decorator class method will actually make sure that whatever method you are declaring is basically a static. Okay, it doesn't actually need a self parameter. So with this, so now you can have print additional method. So let's take a parameter here. Let's say name. Okay, so we validate name and additional method to validate string name. So as we are defining with the decorator called as class method, this does not actually need a self, and it won't actually be called on object at all. Okay, so this is third type of. So first type of method we saw is a normal method with the self parameter. These are called as instance method. They called upon object. Another thing we saw is called as constructor. Constructor is basically an initializer. And third we are seeing is called as class method. So class method does not need a self parameter. It even not access the self parameter at all. And you do not need instance to call these methods. Okay, so you can directly call it. So you can just say customer dot and you call validate name. Okay, and you can also validate something here. Let's say Neil Armstrong. Okay, and if I run this problem, validate name. What's the problem? Takes one position argument, but two were given. Where did I put two? Okay, so it's not taking this as a parameter. That's fine. That's fine. That's okay. It's taking it as itself. Okay. Anyway, this particular section of class methods and static methods are a completely different discussion when I will teach you what is main method. So when we learn about a special method called as main, then we will learn about static methods also. So anyway, this discussion later. So let me not start that discussion today. Okay, this is okay because I have to explain you a lot of other things like how this object is getting initialized and created and all those things. Okay, so the first init, second is instance method. Cool with this? Now the next part of thing is let's add variables. So what are the other stuff? So remember this, we added some variables here like first name, first underscore name equals to David and all kind of that stuff. Okay. So remember whenever you're putting first name here, it's ultimately gonna access with the help of what instance, right? So if I want to print that, so if I want to print it, how do I do that? Customer one, CUST one dot, and you can see that this is first name, correct? So whenever I'm accessing this way, okay, ultimately what I'm saying is self dot customer name or self dot first name equals to something. So in Python, generally we do not define variables here. So people coming from other programming background tend to declare the variables like this, but in Python we don't do that. Okay, in Python what we do is we always write self dot and then put the variables. And whenever you want to hard code them, you can, or you can take the parameter here. Cool with this? That also you can do. Okay, so let's do it. So let's add first name also. So first underscore name or first name, and you assign that first name this guy. Cool. So that's how it goes. So it's Neil 1001 and here let's say Neil run. Oops. Run. Okay. So that is what? That is the additional parameters. Now let's move ahead. Let's take another step. Okay. That is inheritance. So remember that whenever we are creating a class follows the hierarchy. That is called as inheritance. Inheritance is you can create a child of a class. Okay, you can derive one class from another class. Cool with that? So customer class can actually derive another class, which can be a preferred customer. So suppose you're walking to a DMart store or Star Bazaar store, and what happens is they told you, okay, if you give an email ID, then you will be our preferred customer, and we will send you coupons so that you can buy and get some discount. Cool with that? So that is a preferred customer. But ultimately your first name and your customer ID remains the same, right? That's not gonna change. So you might need access to discount method, you might need access to your first name and customer ID, but you will also need additional functionality like process discount, process email address or something like that. So whenever a situation like that comes around, you will need inheritance. That means you will derive another class from customer class. Okay, so this is called as parent-child relationship in object-oriented programming. So how do you create a child class from a customer? So let's do that. So I'm creating another class here. Let's say class. And here I'm saying the class name as preferred customer. So I want to declare this preferred customer as child of a customer class. How do I do that? So you just put a parenthesis and here you put customer. That means preferred customer is also a customer. All the methods and properties of customer will be automatically taken over, overridden, okay? Automatically taken by preferred customer. Well, with that, so as of now, this is work in progress class. So I put pass. Pass means as of now, this class doesn't have any methods. Okay, and this is it. I'm going to comment this particular stuff. You can uncomment that while practicing. And now I will be creating instance of preferred customer. Can I? Yes, you can. So let's say pcust. Remember that I have not, there is not a single method or variable in preferred customer, but I'm still creating an instance of it. And if I say pcust dot, I'll be able to get customer ID, first name, discount, init method access, all these things. Why? Because it's a child class. So preferred customer is child class. It's also called as subclass, also called as derived class. Okay, which one? Preferred customer. Clear? And customer class here, customer class, what are the names of customer class? Is called as parent class or super class. Okay, that's it. Parent class or super class. Good with that? So subclass, super class, derived class, super class, parent child, all these things are same. Cool with this? So now preferred customer is a customer. So all the properties and methods are automatically accessed to it. So if I say this, that okay, this customer is David or preferred UST, that's the name. And let me put 777. That's a customer ID. So if I want to call a method, let's say discount, I can call that and I run this. So you get initializer method for customer, customer has no discount and 777. Good. And instead of customer ID, I should put customer first name. So run this and you're gonna get, there is no discount for preferred customer. Okay. So child class have access to methods and variables of parent class. Is this clear? Okay, shall we take a next step? Okay, so let's do that. So now let me have the own methods. It doesn't seem right? So because preferred customer is providing an email address and you are not giving him discount, that seems wrong, correct? Plus preferred customer should have more methods, correct? So let's do that. Let's take some more methods here. So define and let's say validate underscore email. Okay, self, and then you can have email validation maybe. So if email, so @ in self dot email. Okay, and then you say print email is valid email. Oh, sorry, self dot email. But there is no self dot email, right? We'll take it, don't worry. Okay, or else you can just print the message that invalid email provided. Okay, so invalid email provided. So this is where we are. So now what we have to do is we have to take this particular email parameter. How do we do it? So we can, so let's call this method first. Obviously, we're going to get error because there is no email as such. So how do I take an email? Simple. So we have to write our own init method, correct? So as of now, we have not written our own init method. So parent class init method was getting called, right? So you can see that initializer constructor for customer, but we are defining or we are creating preferred customer. So basically preferred customer is renting, is lending, okay, is borrowing, okay, udhar le raha hai wo. what exactly is doing? It is taking renting the method from customer class, but we don't want that. So let's create our own constructor method. Can we? Shall we? Let's do that. So define underscore underscore init, and in that you will take three params now. So you will take email, you will take first name, and you will take customer ID. Correct? So three params. So now you can just say self.email equals email, whatever parameter taken. And for other stuff, customer already did the stuff for us. So we don't have to worry about that. What you will do is you will just say, okay, customer, take care of other parameters. So we're asking our parent to take care of other params. So customer, but instead of writing customer, right? Okay, sorry, you can do this customer dot and you say underscore underscore init. At this point, you pass self. This is the only point you will pass self. And then you say first name and say customer ID, and customer will be happy. Well, with this, and then you do validate email. Shall we? So now let's go ahead and run this. So you say pcust. So as of now, there are three parameters, right? So you have to provide email address also. So give this abc@nasa.com, and then this is our buzz and ring and 777. So now let's go ahead and run the method pcust dot validate email, and let's see what happens. Email is valid abc@nasa.com. Let's remove this abc symbol and put dollar instead, and just run this. You see invalid email provided. Clear? Invalid email provided. So you got validate email method, which is only in preferred customer, but not in the customer class. Not in the customer class. Correct? Okay, so take the next step. So next step is like, okay, I am not giving any discount to preferred customer. I do have a discount method, but it says that there is no discount. So that's wrong, right? So I should provide some discount here. So how do I do that? So I will define an exact same method, okay, in preferred customer also. Okay, so let's do that. Let's define exact same method. So I'll copy this method and put it here. Shall we? Put it here. As soon as I do that, I see a symbol here. This symbol stands for override. Override means now the earlier method, the customer's method, is no longer accessible unless you directly call it. Okay, so unless you directly call it, the customer method, the parent class method, is overridden. Is so customer ka method wipe out karke child class method will get executed. Okay, customer methods will not be there anymore. So now I will write a new method here. We say preferred customer have 5% discount. Okay, and you can put the shelf for first name or not. That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Good with this. So now will this work? So this is called as overriding. Okay, so this is called as method overriding. What does that really mean? It means that the same method exists in parent class and child class. Then child class method will get executed. Okay, so now if I run this, I get preferred customer have 5% discount and your name. That is goes out. Is this clear? Is this clear? All of you with me? Okay. Awesome. So now we created one layer of child. Now you know what? A parent can have a child, can also have a grandchild. What does that really mean? This will actually create a multi-level inheritance. Multi-level inheritance meaning the parent, child, and grandchild. Or we can say child, parent and grandparents. So this kind of hierarchy can be created, and in that hierarchy, all the parents or child will have the accessibility of all the parents variables and all the parents methods. Okay. So now we are again in the Star Bazaar store. We give an email address, we become preferred customer. Now we got a Tata credit card. So now we becomes credit card customer and we get some brownie points. Okay. So come credit card points. And then what we do? We earn those points and we get some cash back. Correct? So that's awesome stuff, right? So let's do that then. So can we have another method or another class? So let's say class, and here I will be a credit card customer. And credit card customer is a child class of preferred customer, remember? And now you can have your own init method and own logic. Okay. So here I will actually define a method which is underscore init. You can actually get all these parameters. Right. So email ID, first name, last name, customer ID, and what else you have? You have membership number. So you have membership number. Cool with this? And this is how you create a credit card customer class. Okay, so here you have self dot membership number equals membership number. So whatever getting passed will assign here, and other stuff you don't have to worry about because your preferred customer class will take care of it. So preferred customer dot underscore init, and you pass all this stuff, and then you are happy. And you're happy. Clear? So now with this membership number, you just say like, okay, you have two methods here. Now you have a discount method. So you can again override that. You can definitely override that, no issues with that. So you just say credit card customer will have 7% discount, let's say. Cool with this? And here you put membership number instead of first name. That's pure you are handling it. Then you have your own methods also. So you can define earn brownie points. And then you have self here, and you can print on every 100 rupees you earn 1 point, and then you give self dot first name. Okay, so you are just calling something. Okay, so on brownie prompt is just simple method. We added that, okay, just to make sure that we have our own stuff also. It's not a copy paste of our preferred customer. That's why we did that. So now we are ready to access this particular method. So now instead of pcust, I'll put the pcust tag in the command box. And then we're gonna create a credit card customer. So ccust here equals credit card customer. And then you're going to copy all the stuff which are required, and plus you will actually give what membership number. So membership number 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, that's the membership number maybe, and that's it. You're done, and you can call all sort of methods. ccust dot you have validate email method. Okay, ccust dot you have membership number. You have discount method. No issues with that. Cool with this? And earn brownie point methods also. So you can say ccust dot earn brownie points. Okay, and then you can execute all this, and you'll get this. See this, every 100 rupees you'll earn 1. Okay, discount, email is valid, and custom. Cool with this? Cool with this? So this is called as multi-level inheritance. Multi-level inheritance. Okay, you have multiple levels in that. Cool with this? So that also we saw. So there are a lot of concepts we are learning. So first concept is inheritance. Okay. Second is constructor, class methods we saw, which are also called as instance methods. Cool with that? Then we saw parent-child relationship, how we can access parents constructor with the help of parents name. Then methods, method overriding. Okay, so how do you override those methods? And we saw a concept as multi-level inheritance. Clear with this? Now there is one more way. Like, what if one child can have multiple parents? Is it possible? Can one child can have multiple parents? The answer is yes. You can definitely have multiple parents defined, and that level is called as multiple inheritance. So we'll take an example of multiple inheritance here. So here we have created this hierarchy. This is like a customer class. Inside that you have preferred customer class and you have credit card customer class. All of them have discounts. Now there is another class called as events and promotions. So whenever there is a deal going on, like okay, Ganpati deal, okay, or Diwali sale or something like that, you don't need to be a preferred customer at all. We are actually adding a discount. Good with that. So we are actually adding a discount, okay, one way or another. So I need another class called as promotions and events, and at that point I will be adding this kind of discounts. Good with that. So how do I do that? How do I do that? And let's say these promotions and discounts are for preferred customer. Okay, so that will be another class at this level. So here I will be creating class and I will say promotions and events. Okay, hold on, define underscore underscore in it. Okay, maximum what you can have is self dot event underscore name probably. So Diwali discount, this discount, that discount. So you need that name. Okay, so event name. You take that event name from here or not, that is up to you. Okay, so event name, and here we can just print that promotion or event initialized if you want to, and say self dot. You may not need this method at all. Okay, it's up to you. I'm just adding it just because I want to show you. That's it. Okay, and this is it. And what is you can have? You can just say this is like promotional underscore discount. Okay, and here you go. If self dot event name equals to Diwali, you really don't need a parenthesis, but that's up to you. Okay, then you can just return discount. Sorry, discount return. Let's say 4% or 10%. Okay, and else return 5. Okay, so promotional discount, it's returning this. Awesome. So this is strange. This is different, right? Now my preferred customer class wants to also hear from promotions and events. So that's not like a simple customer. I want to be a preferred customer and I want to listen for promotions. Correct? So that's what they signed me up for. So okay, at that point, what will happen? You will say promotions and events. So now you have two parents now. Preferred customer looks for a customer and promotions and events. So now you can take an event name here as well. So you can just say email, then you can take event underscore name. Okay, if you want to, or you can assign it in a different way, that's also fine. Okay, it's not mandatory to define a variable here. Okay, and here I can do what? You can just say promotions and events dot underscore underscore init, and you pass event name. Okay, self. Cool with this. Now basically you are calling event also. Okay, clear? Now in a discount method, you can check whether you have any discount. Okay, so if you can just say promotions and events dot, you can call promotional discount. Okay, pass self. Okay, pass self. And what else you have? You don't actually need anything. Event name is already assigned, so you're fine. Clear? And then you say colon. Okay. Okay, this is returning something, so you don't actually have to do this. So you just say this discount percent equals promotional events, promotional discount. That's it. You are calling this particular method, and you are done. You'll get this discount percent, and then you say now discount percent. Cool. Will this work? This is very complicated, but let's see. Oh, wait a second. What happened? Now you actually did preferred customer. Preferred customer is taking event name, but who is passing event name? Credit card customer has to, or otherwise you have to initialize preferred customer. So let's pass it along to credit card customer. Oops, copy this. Copy this. Correct. Take this and pass it to your preferred customer. So that it can handle it, and preferred customer has two parent classes. So this kind of inheritance is called as multiple inheritance. So I say Diwali. Diwali is the event. So with that, and that's it. So that particular event will be taken care of. Okay. Still there will be a problem. The problem is you are overriding this particular method. Correct? You're overriding this particular method. So you can call this in here. Okay, you can do that. Rather, you don't have to do this. You can directly call it self.promotion discount. Okay, even here, you don't actually call it like this. And this is self.promotional discount. Cool. Because you already have self, so you're fine with that. Correct? So now let's run. Let's run and have fun. So here you go. And let's see. We have not printed that discount though. So discount percent. Or discount. Discount percent. And then self.membership number. Or you may not need membership number at all. We are fine with this. So run. So discount is 10. Got it? Change it. Let's say not Diwali, but it's let's say something else, probably Eid. Okay, so it's 5%. Got it? So actually created an entire structure of classes with a practical example. This is something a retail business. So practical retail business, we saw that, okay, we are taking in a multiple inheritance example also. Okay, multiple inheritance. So there are multi-level inheritance here, multiple inheritance here, the class structures, the method structure, how it's getting complicated. But ultimately, you can see that this entire hierarchy is respecting all the methods available in the parent classes, making it available for the children, to direct access. Correct? That is most important. Now, my question is, what if there is a method which is common in both customer as well as promotions and events? Okay, and if preferred customer calls that method, which will get executed? I'll tell you what exactly I'm talking about. So suppose I have a method called as test underscore parent. It does nothing, it just print the parent class name. So this is test parent. And this is possible, right? It's completely possible that you have a method which is exactly common or exactly the same. So this is a test parent method. And here also I have a test parent method. So now when the preferred customer is calling this test parent method, which one will get executed? So if I go back here and say ccust, say test parent, which parent you're talking about? So what is your answer? What do you think? Which one will get executed? customer one or promotions one? Remember, promotions come later, customer comes first. What is your guess? Exact same method to two parents. Which one will execute it? Promotions? Let's see. It's customer. So when there is an exact same method available in two, the Python takes the sequence. Okay. How do you declare it? Customer first, promotion events later. That's it. It follows that sequence. It doesn't make the things complicated. It doesn't check whether that has a more logic or this has less logic and nothing. It takes the sequence. Customer has the same method, right? Okay, take it from customer. Don't worry about it. No ambiguity. If you have to call promotions and events method, specify the name. Specify that name promotions and event dot method, and then that will be executed, or just override it. Okay, that's the way it works. Clear with this? Okay, so this is a good material for one day. Okay, actually, these are a lot of concepts we learned because we learned about inheritance, multi-level, init classes, constructor methods, overriding, all kind of stuff I just told. I think you should revise that once before we proceed to the next class. In the next class, we will learn about data structures. Okay, so according to your schedule, there is a data structure class tomorrow. To do that, but we will actually take like first 5 minutes for doubt clearing. So if there are any doubt issues, concerns, problems on this one, we will resolve it and only then we will move further. Could do this? Awesome. So that being said, let's stop the topic today because this is a logical breakpoint and let's continue tomorrow. So thanks a lot everyone. Have a good one. Bye-bye. I will share this particular classes, this Python files to Coding Kings so that it will be available for you for download and references. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.